Hi all, good morning. I hope all of you are doing well. This is our 12th video on chapter 3. Can you type Amma in the computer? So in last class, we have learned how to change the keyboard layout to Malayalam and type the Malayalam language in LibreOffice Writer software. Then we have learned about the InScript key layout, which is the keyboard layout developed by a central government agency called CDAC for typing various Indian languages including Malayalam. Then we have done our first activity, that is typing Malayalam words. We have typed some of the Malayalam words given in our textbook. Then we have learned about the desktop dictionary. We have seen the dictionary named Theorem, which is there in our computer. Then our activity 2 was typing a Malayalam poem. A small poem was given in our textbook. We have typed it in Malayalam in the LibreOffice Writer software. Today we are going to learn three topics, that is ASCII and Unicode, then reading text using machine, then Malayalam phones. So let's start with our first topic, ASCII and Unicode. The letters and symbols that we input to a computer have to be converted to a format that can be understood by the computer. So whatever we give as input into the computer, sometimes it cannot be understood by the computer. So first of all, we have to convert that into a format that can be understood by the computer, and that process is known as encoding. And that encoding process is called ASCII, that is American Standard Code for Information Interchange. But there is a drawback for this ASCII encoding, because this encoding can be done only for 256 characters, including the English alphabets and some symbols. So in such situation, it is not possible to use the letters of other languages like Malayalam. So that was the main drawback or limitation of the ASCII encoding technique. So in order to overcome this difficulty, the government agency called CDAC, they have developed a software called ISM, which will convert the English letters to Malayalam. But even though the font is visible as Malayalam letters, it is encoded as English letters. And this was the main drawback for this software. We can see Malayalam letters, but it is encoded as English letters. So it is difficult to search or find the Malayalam words from the input data. So that was the main drawback for the ISM software developed by CDAC. So after that, as technology advanced, this problem was also solved, and a Unicode technique that was developed in 1996. It came into use from 1996. It helped us to encode more letters. So with this technique, Unicode technique, it was possible to encode Malayalam words also. So the letters and fonts of Malayalam can be directly given as input into the computer. So first, the encoding technique was called ASCII. In that only English letters and some symbols could be encoded. And after that, as a solution for this, the CDAC agency has developed a software called ISM. Here also the font is visible as Malayalam, but it is encoded as English letters. So we can't search or find the words, certain words in the input data. So that was the drawback of ISM software. After that, the Unicode technique was developed, which can encode Malayalam letters also. So that was a drastic change for non-English languages. Okay, more about this topic is given in your textbook in page number 42 and 43. You can refer your textbook. Okay, our second topic for today's class is reading text using machine. We have already learned about the software called GSpeaker in our first chapter. When we copy a text and we paste it there in GSpeaker, we can hear it. So in the same manner, we are going to play this Malayalam poem that we have typed in our last class in GSpeaker software. For that, we have to copy these lines, select the lines, right click, select copy option. Now we have copied these lines. Now we have to open GSpeaker software. from applications, sound and video, G speaker. Welcome in G speaker. Now here in this box, we have to paste the copied text. Then we have to change the language to Malayalam. Now click on this play button. We can hear it. Now we can also hear it in male voice by clicking here. Again, click on this play button. So this is the G Speaker software. We have already learned about the software in our first chapter. There is also options to adjust the pitch, volume, speed and time delay here. We can change the voice to male voice or female voice, etc. So this is about G Speaker software. Our next topic is Malayalam font. What do you mean by font? That we have already learned in our first class. The style of writing or the kind of writing that is known as font. The style of letters used in computer that is known as font. We have many English fonts, right? Like Free Sans, Liberation Mono, etc. All these are English fonts. For typing Malayalam, many Malayalam fonts are also available. Let's see some of these, okay? First we have Regu Malayalam, then Meera, then Chilanga, then Deshabhimani, Dyudi, Gayatri, Gayatri Thin. Like this we have many Malayalam fonts. Now these lines are in Regu Malayalam currently. We will change the font of these lines. We will select Chilanga font. See the changes that happen to these lines. So in similar way, we can change the font of Malayalam letters also. There are many Malayalam fonts available in LibreOffice Writer. So let's conclude what we have learned in today's class. First topic was ASCII and Unicode. We have learned that the letters and symbols or whatever we give as input to the computer, it has to be converted to a format that can be understood by the computer. And that process of converting the format is known as encoding. We have an encoding technique called ASCII, that is American Standard Code for Information Interchange. But the main drawback of this ASCII technique was that it can only encode some English letters and some symbols. So that was a main drawback of this ASCII technique, because it is not possible for us to use the letters of other languages like Malayalam. Then in order to overcome this difficulty, the CDAC agency has developed a software called ISM, which will convert the English letters to Malayalam using that software. But the font is visible as Malayalam letters, but the encoding is done as English letters. So that was the main drawback of that software. Then after that, the technique called Unicode has been developed. It came into use from 1996. It helped us to encode Malayalam letters also. So it was a drastic change for non-English languages. So with the help of this, we can type Malayalam words in Malayalam fonts itself. Then we can use Malayalam words in internet. We can search using Malayalam words. Then we can include informations in data banks like Aadhaar card, voters list, etc. in Malayalam. We can search and find names or other details from these data banks in Malayalam. Then if relevant software and font is available, the files created in one computer can be opened and read in other computers, PCs or even mobile phones. Then our second topic was reading text using machine. This was about the software called G Speaker that we have already learned in our first chapter. We have copied the text, that is the Malayalam poem lines that we have typed in our last class. Then we have pasted it in the G Speaker software. Then we click on the play button, we can hear it. Then after that we have learned about Malayalam fonts. So we have learned what is font. Font means the style of writing or the styles of letters used in the computer is known as font. We have many fonts for English alphabets like Liberation Serif, Liberation Sans, Free Sans, etc. In similar way we have many fonts in Malayalam also. Some of the examples are Rajana, Regu Malayalam, Meera, Kalyani, Chilanga, Deshabhimani, etc. So I hope all of you are clear with the topics that we have discussed in today's class. So see you next class. Bye.